Hey. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? I'm sorry to drop by so unexpectedly. I was just in the neighborhood and I heard you were living around here from a friend and... There's that raised eyebrow I recognize so well. Look, I'll tell you the truth, but can I come in first? This blazer is designer, but it's not exactly waterproof. Thank you. I appreciate it, really. I know it must be strange seeing me again. Oh, well, this is a nice little apartment. I see your penchant for buying anything in yellow hasn't changed. It makes the place feel so cozy and warm. Just like you. Oh, sorry. That one just slipped out. I promise I'll behave. If you don't want me to give you any compliments, I won't. I know things aren't like what they used to be. I'm also sorry for breaking our no contact policy. I haven't forgotten your request for distance, as much as that word still stings. But you must recognize that I haven't sent so much as a simple "how are you doing" message in months. I've honored my word. How did I know you were going to bring up Paris? Yes, I made a terrible mistake in a moment of weakness, one that I have repeatedly apologized for. Though, as it appears to still be at the forefront of your mind, allow me to do so once again. I acknowledge that I shouldn't have used my connections in the tech industry to discover you were in France for vacation. And I definitely should not have bought the entire hotel you were staying at and then canceled every other guest's bookings and put myself in the room opposite of yours. Yes, I know how invasive and disturbing it was for you. You were very clear about your feelings when you came down to the restaurant on the first night and found me sitting there waiting for you, surrounded by empty tables. That was completely unacceptable behavior on my part. It was an impulsive decision made during a period of intense stress for me. The company was under regulatory scrutiny and I felt like I needed you for comfort. I regret it deeply. To be honest, I regretted it from the moment I saw the shock on your face. I had been imagining some romantic reunion in the City of Light, but I quickly realized that my fantasies weren't in step with reality. But if it's any consolation, the hotel's been underperforming financially ever since my acquisition. Definitely not one of my wiser investments. And there was some kind of class action lawsuit from the guests whose stays were canceled without notice. All in all, it's been a very expensive mistake. But other than that one shameful occasion, I've left you alone, which hasn't been easy. If you understood the loneliness I've felt all this time, maybe you'd be more sympathetic to my poor decision-making. Losing you it felt like a part of me was torn away. Look, I didn't come here to relitigate the end of our relationship. I have a very specific agenda for tonight, but seeing you again, it's brought up a lot of raw emotions. why don't we change the conversation to a less volatile subject? Tell me how you've been. A new job? Oh, congratulations! Really. I'm glad your intelligence and work ethic are finally receiving the recognition they deserve. So... is there anyone from this new workplace you're particularly close with? Friends? Maybe something more? Oh, don't give me that look. I'm allowed to ask basic questions about your current circumstances, and since you've made it very clear that I'm not allowed to use the resources at my disposal to investigate you, this is the only way I can satisfy my curiosity. So a few work friends, but no romantic prospects? Interesting. But what about outside of work? Are you seeing anyone at all? Maybe something casual or like a regular... Oh. Yeah, you're right. I overstepped your boundaries again. I'm sorry. Knowing you've moved on from me completely would be difficult to bear. A selfish desire, but one that I can't quite shake. You want to know how I've been? Oh, well, the usual. Reams of paperwork to sign, charity events, and, of course, endless meetings. Everything you came to despise. I have tried to find time for myself, though. I bought a lake house recently to have a place to relax. Haven't really had time to visit it yet, but my assistant tells me it's really lovely. I'm not here to play the poor little rich girl card, believe me. I know how fortunate I am, and that my situation is of my own making. Yeah, I could choose to walk away from the stress and pressure at any time. And yet, I still find myself still addicted to chasing power, even after it caused you to walk out of my life. That lovely rhythm of your foot tapping on the floor tells me you're running out of patience. So I'll get to the reason why I came here. I have an offer for you. If you sleep in bed with me tonight, I'll pay you $100,000. Just sleeping, nothing more. Then, in the morning, we go our separate ways and you're considerably richer. Yeah, I expected this reaction. It's certainly a unconventional offer, I admit, and I don't blame you for this initial refusal. If you allow me to explain, however, you may see this pragmatism in my reasoning. Ever since we broke up, I haven't had a single night of restful sleep. Initially, I just assumed I was struggling to adapt to an empty bed after sleeping beside you for so long. Not being held in your arms as I drift off to sleep, or feeling your hands gently stroke my hair. I couldn't bear it. I would wake up in the middle of the night and reach out for you, but find only cold sheets to remind me of what I've lost. And it hasn't improved over time, either. I've tried everything. Doctors, therapists, every type of sleeping pill on the market, and some that aren't. I've even imported a robot from Japan that's supposed to simulate the warmth of sleeping next to someone. But it just kind of felt like I was lying next to an overheating android. So that didn't work. I've been surviving somehow, on caffeine pills, vitamin B12 shots, and at least 8 espressos a day. My performance as CEO has taken a hit, of course. I've had to train myself not to yawn during presentations. And I would be willing to accept all of this as my penance for treating you so poorly, were it not for the importance of tonight. You see, at noon tomorrow I'll be chairing a board meeting where I intend to present a stock buyback initiative as part of this year's agenda. It's going to be highly contentious, and I'll need all of my energy and mental acuity to be successful and convince the board members. Which, of course, I won't have if I spend tonight tossing and turning in an empty bed. Which brings us back to my offer. One night, peacefully snoozing next to the woman you tried to erase from your life, and you'll have enough cash to buy yourself a very nice sports car. Which you won't do, of course. You're far too sensible for that. I would imagine you'd put half into your savings and then donate the rest to a charity that would rescue stray cats. Or something similarly thoughtful. So, it's decision time. Before you answer, though, I'll make the deal even sweeter for you. $250,000. That will save a lot of little kitties, won't it? Now, are we in agreement? What do you mean no? I don't think you're thinking about this correctly. I have no idea how much you get paid at your new job, but I doubt it's enough to make turning down $250,000 for 8 hours of work a sensible financial decision. It's not about the money? Of course it isn't. Alright. I'm willing to answer any questions or concerns that you have. Oh, no. This wouldn't make you a sex worker. For that to be true, you'd have to be doing a lot more than laying next to me. This is, well, I don't know if there's a term for it exactly, but it's definitely not that. Yes, I understand that we're not together anymore. This isn't an attempt to trick you into letting me back into your life, and I promise I'll honor my word. One night of sleep, and you'll never have to see me again. $500,000. Final offer. And before you answer, try and visualize what that amount would look like if you had it all in cash. It's a pretty big pile of money, right? Enough to erase any misgivings you have? No? Ugh, can't believe this. All I want is a restful night of sleep, and you can't even give me that too, can you? Fine. Okay. I did not want to go this far, but you leave me no choice. For sleeping, just a sleepover, in bed with me for one night, I will offer you the sum of $1 million. Huh? I'm sorry, what do you mean you don't want the money? Everyone wants money. So it feels weird taking money from me? I thought this particular quirk of yours has died alongside our relationship. You'd always make such a fuss whenever I try to buy you designer clothing or a new car. Since we're essentially strangers now, does it really matter anymore? Look, if taking hard cash is such a problem, what about assets? This apartment is fine, but I could purchase you a house or... Wait... What? You'll do it for free? Well, I could have done without the overly dramatic sigh that preceded your acceptance of my proposal, but I'm overjoyed regardless. You do realize you could have named any amount of money and I would have happily paid you. This complete and utter lack of business sense, darling, well, it's honestly the reason why I fell for you. So, we should begin immediately. I want as much sleep as possible, after all. Oh, no, I'm not sleeping with you in here. As delightful as I find your little home, we're going back to my penthouse. The Bentley's waiting outside. No, you don't have to bring anything with you. I've taken the liberty of purchasing toiletries for you ahead of time. Now all I need is you. So, let's go. I'm sure you remember my driver, Jarvis. I think he missed you just as much as I have, to be honest. You two always got along so well. Take us home, Jarvis, and close the divider, please. I have a lot of memories of the two of us in the back of this car. Some more risque than others. Soundproofing the passenger cabin was definitely a good choice. I know nothing like that will happen tonight, of course, but forgive me for briefly reminiscing about the times we shared together. But if you'd prefer a memory that's more chaste, what about the long drive to the shareholder retreat in that beautiful summer? You were so excited to get out of this city with me, your face pressed to the window like a golden retriever on the way to the dog park. Well, yes, I suppose you're right. That may have been a less pleasant recollection for you than it is for me. I know you spent most of that week on your own in that hotel suite, while I was busy doing presentations. I chose to prioritize my career over you, not just on that occasion. As much as it shattered my heart when you left, I understood your reasoning. Too often I expected you to follow patiently behind me and modify your life to suit my own. You deserved so much more attention and care. I know this is a painful topic of conversation, but there's a question that's been tormenting me ever since we parted ways. Were you ever truly happy being with me? That makes me feel so much better. I was afraid your heart was always filled with resentment towards me. To know the love was real for both of us, it sets my mind at ease. You know, my girlfriends all said that you'd come crawling back as soon as you heard that I passed the $1 billion mark. I secretly hoped that they were right. But you never even messaged me. I shouldn't have been surprised, though. You never really cared about my money, even despite my best efforts to shower you with it. You seemed to find more value in who I was inside. Oh, we're home. I mean, my home, of course. Although for tonight it's ours. Just like it was. Yes, I know. This is a courtesy you're generously providing. I shouldn't romanticize this situation as much as I yearn to. I apologize for letting my emotions get the better of me. Follow me to the elevator. I'm sure you remember the way. Could you press the P button for me? Since you're the closest. Almost insultingly close to the wall, in fact. I respect your desire for distance, physical or emotional, but you do understand that we're gonna be in each other's arms in a few minutes, right? Yes, I may have mentioned laying beside each other earlier, but I'm gonna need our usual bedtime routine in order to achieve the perfect night of rest that I need for tomorrow. That means I want you to wrap your arms tight around me, then stroke my hair until I enter REM sleep. I'll forego the forehead kisses and whispered I love yous out of respect for your feelings. Again with a frown. If it's too much for you, you're more than welcome to leave. Jarvis will return you to your apartment and you can put this whole thing behind you. Otherwise, could you please press the button for the penthouse? I'm starting to get cold. Thank you. I'm grateful for your trust in me. I did mean what I said, though. One night, and then you're free to forget everything about me. If that is your wish, of course. Here we are. I haven't made many changes to the decor, so I imagine it's all very familiar to you. Though the kitchen does have a new... Oh. The photograph of you on the wall. Yeah, I've been meaning to take it down ever since we ended things. I know it's not really appropriate to keep images of your ex around after you've broken up. Well, it's because... Well, I've actually had real trouble finding a handyman to remove it. The frame uses a special kind of wall attachment that requires special tools, and it's just too much trouble with the union. But it's all normal problems, and there's no other reason why it's still up there. So why don't you go to the bedroom? I've had some pajamas laid out for you. They're silk. Not really your taste, I know, but I think it'll suit you perfectly. So just let me know when you're changed. Oh. Well, you look stunning in those pajamas. The color complements your eyes perfectly, and the fit... Huh? There was a bundle of cash in one of the pockets. That must be some kind of mistake. You were adamant you didn't want to be paid for this, after all. Well, if you're absolutely sure you don't want to take it with you, then you can just leave the cash on the bedside table. Now, into bed, please. I can't bear to wait any longer for your arms around me. Closer to me, darling. I was very clear about my expectations, wasn't I? Better. Now, hold me tight while I lay my head on your chest. And then... Perfection. Your body feels just the way it always did. I've never felt safer or more comfortable than when I'm in your arms. Could you pet my hair, please? Oh, how many times I've dreamed of this in the past year. But this time, you're really here with me. I can already feel sleep overwhelm me. Usually reaching this state takes hours and at least 6 different medications, but with you, it's natural. I have an early start tomorrow, but you're welcome to sleep for as long as you like. I've made sure that there will be a car for you, so you can take it and go wherever you need to go. Again, thank you. I needed this more than you could imagine. I don't think I can stay awake for much longer. I feel so relaxed. Can't even open my eyes. Promise me you won't let go of me tonight. I can't bear the thought of waking up to an empty bed again. I'm so grateful. You've always been so good to me, darling. I've missed you. Sweet dreams, darling. I love you so much.